Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today I'll be unboxing the HorrorPack for May. If you're unfamiliar with HorrorPack, it's a monthly subscription service sent to your house every single month that either has 4 DVDs or 4 Blu-rays. You get to choose which package you want. We go for the Blu-rays because I collect Blu-rays. And what I really dig about it is the fact that you get like an exclusive that HorrorPack puts together. Whether they've reached out to an indie company to put something out for the first time, or it's just another version of a previously released movie, it's always something exclusive that is guaranteed that you don't have. Alright, I'm gonna put this over here. First up, we have Blood-Sucking Bastards. This is a Scream Factory release, which is actually pretty cool. And that's what's nice too, is HorrorPack has been reaching out, or like they have hookups with a bunch of different companies now. And Scream Factory they've been putting out Scream Factory releases in a few of their boxes, probably for the last 5 or 6 months maybe. This is a pretty fun movie. We actually recently reviewed this thanks to our top donator, Deke, who recommended this for the Bloodbath Baller Club. It's got Fran Kranz, and it's essentially like an Office Space style of movie where you have a few friends that work together, workaholic style, and they're just selling random products like penis enhancement and stuff. And a new manager comes in who happens to be a vampire, and well, he starts turning people in the office into vampires, and this group of friends needs to try and figure out how to take them down and escape the situation. So that's a pretty fun movie. Unfortunately, I do already own this, but for those that don't, this is a quality pickup. Next up, we have the ABCs of Death. Is this the first one? Okay, so this is the first one. ABCs of Death is a very strange anthology, but it's super popular. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, simply because there's so many different types of filmmaking involved. They basically go through the alphabet, and each short begins with that letter. There's now 2 entries into this franchise, and while I did like the second one a little bit more than the first, it is just a really unique little package because you have 26 different directors, 26 different shorts, and it's super weird, and it's a roller coaster because, you know, they vary from really low budget indie stuff to high quality products to wacky Japanese over the top insanity. There's lots and lots of stuff here. And looking on the back, it looks like this has a bunch of different behind the scenes features and making of and deleted scenes for a number of the shorts, which is great. There's some filmmaker commentary with over 30 filmmakers, which I actually wouldn't mind checking out, because when you have that many people doing commentaries for all of these different shorts, there's a lot of different filmmaking aspects that you can learn from when you're dealing with so many people all at once. So that's actually really cool too. This is a pretty solid pack so far. I don't know that I own the first one. I own the second one because that's the one that has like one of the most memorable shorts I've ever seen in my life, which is Z for Zygote. It has haunted me ever since I watched it, and I can't get it out of my head. If you have not seen that, I highly recommend watching both 1 and 2. Z for Zygote. It's crazy. All right, next up, we have Bong of the Living Dead. So this is coming from, well, this is like the HorrorPack exclusive. It's number 47, but we actually do have this one because Scream Team releasing. I collect all of their stuff, and this is one of their releases. This is a really fun movie. Me and CJ got hella high, and we did this for 420, I believe, last year. We did a commentary track for it as a first-time viewing, as well as a review, and we were just so stoned. It was just a blast.
Happy 420 from Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Bong of the Living Dead. The End is High.
Nice one.
Oh my god, I was halfway through, I was like, I forget, and then it just came out.
He did it.
Yeah.
He put at least one hand on the table. I'm not exactly sure what makes this Blu-ray limited edition version, other than the numbering and like the HorrorPack logo. I'm not sure if any of the Blu-ray features are the exact same as the original. I'm actually gonna go check and see if there's anything different.
5 minutes later.
So as you can see, like the cover is the same. Mine has a slipcover. So we'll see. And then inside it has like a different cover, which I believe is reversible as well. It is. But I think it's like a cartoon. So let's see. It looks as if it's the same, to be honest. So yeah, it just looks like it's just a different release of it, which is fine enough. I would have liked to see like anything in addition to, because if anyone already owns Bong of the Living Dead like I do, this is kind of whatever now. I think it is really good if you don't own it. So that is cool. That's a really good limited edition. I'm sad that I already have this. All right, and last but not least, we have, The Forest. This is the most divisive review on the channel between me and John.
I completely disagree with what John has to say. Jump scares are a very, very cheap way to make a movie.
Well, I'm a big fan of Natalie Dormer. I think she is one of the most attractive women on the planet. We went and saw this in theaters despite my better judgment, because usually I don't like paranormal movies in general because they abuse jump scares and they just drives me nuts. This is no different. I really dig into this movie big time in our review, and I think this is the biggest spread that me and John have ever had in ratings, which I think is about 3 points. I hated this movie. It's well produced and everything, and there are cool aspects to it, but if you trimmed out all of like the bullshit lead up to false jump scares or jump scares that just don't need to exist, trim all that shit out and there's nothing here. I think a lot of people will enjoy this because it is one of those movies that you can throw on. You will get scared because jump scares will catch you off guard. It deals with the suicide forest, which has its own like authenticity to it. So like, you can make some parallels to real world stuff, even though this is a completely made up story. I don't know. I think that people would enjoy this mostly. I was just not a fan, especially watching it with a critical eye. All in all, this is actually a really solid pack. I think the only issue that I can see with it is that I think people might own a lot of or at least 2 or 3 of these movies, like I do. Maybe not the same ones, but The Forest was a pretty big release from Universal, so I can imagine that people would own this if you collect Blu-rays. Bong of the Living Dead, I think not many people would own unless you collect like the Scream Team releasing versions, and I highly recommend you check out their website. They've got a lot of stuff. We've reviewed quite a bit of their content on the channel as well. Link is in the description to their website, and you can see all of the stuff that they've put out. Most notably, The Barn, I think, is one that was one of their first releases, but they've got tons of stuff. We've got the ABCs of Death, which everybody's heard of, and if you have heard of it and haven't seen it, now you own it, which is cool. And Bloodsucking Bastards is a pretty underrated movie, or at least I think an underseen movie. I don't see a lot of people talking about this, even though they appreciate workspace environment horror. It can be done better, and I know that people have recommended some on like a review of Bloodsucking Bastards, like The Night Watchman I think is one, and Office Uprising. I want to check those 2 out, but this is another one to add to that kind of subgenre, I guess. So that's a pretty solid pack, honestly. And we've done a review of 3 of these, which I'll also link to in the description, so check those out. What do you guys think of this pack? If you want to learn more, go to HorrorPack.com to check out pricing for both DVD, Blu-ray, see if it ships to your area. And if you feel like signing up, use the code Bloodbath. You can save $3 on your first order, and it gives us a little bit of a kickback, which is nice. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything Bloodbath and beyond.